The sheer audacity of Yamaha's move to resurrect the Stratoliner, nameplate for 2026, has sent a literal shockwave through the American motorcycle industry, leaving enthusiasts and critics alike in a state of total disbelief. No one saw this coming, especially not in a format that feels more like a spacecraft than a traditional long-haul cruiser, effectively shattering every preconceived notion of what a metric cruiser is supposed to represent. In the modern era, it is a calculated, aggressive pivot away from the chrome-laden nostalgia of the past, replaced instead by a design language that feels dangerously ahead of its time, as if Yamaha decided to stop competing with the present and start dictating the future. The engine specifications alone are enough to make any veteran rider question the laws of physics, ditching the expected V-twin rumble for a liquid-cooled, high-compression powerhouse that looks like it was stolen from a Stonkworks racing project. We are looking at torque figures that shouldn't be legal, on a street-bound machine, delivered with a precision that makes the old 1.854cc engines feel like steam-powered relics. The sheer mechanical violence of the power delivery is wrapped in a sophisticated electronic shroud, ensuring that every twist of the throttle feels less like an acceleration and more like a tear in the fabric of reality. Visually, the 2026 Stratoliner is a haunting masterpiece of aerodynamic engineering that managed to keep the iconic, sweeping lines while infusing them with raw industrial aggression. The frame is a marvel of lightweight alloy and structural carbon fiber, creating a silhouette that is massive yet strangely ethereal, appearing to hover even when it's parked on a kickstand. The integrated LED lighting isn't just for visibility. It's a glowing, pulsating nervous system that gives the bike a predatory presence, making it look like a sentient machine that's constantly scanning the horizon for its next stretch of open highway. What has the North American biking community truly paralyzed with shock is the introduction of a seamless, dual-clutch transmission system that has been tuned specifically for the heavy cruiser weight class. The idea of a Stratoliner clicking through gears with the speed of a MotoGP bike is a concept that most purists are struggling to wrap their heads around. It completely eliminates the slow and low funkiness that defined the segment for decades. It's a total betrayal of tradition in the best way possible, forcing the American audience to admit that the old way of shifting might finally be dead and buried. The suspension technology integrated into this 2026 beast is nothing short of supernatural, utilizing a real-time surface scanning laser that adjusts the damping before the front tire even touches a bump. To feel a bike of this massive scale lean into a corner with the surgical agility of a middleweight sport bike is a disorienting experience that defies every lesson taught in rider safety courses. It feels as though Yamaha has solved the problem of mass, creating a heavyweight touring machine that dances through the Appalachian twisties with a grace that is objectively terrifying to witness from the rearview mirror. Digital integration on the 2026 model has completely deleted the concept of a dashboard, replacing it with an augmented reality heads-up display. Projected directly onto a variable tint electronic windscreen, the rider no longer looks down at gauges. The data speed, navigation, and lean angle floats in the air like a tactical overlay from a fighter jet, which is both exhilarating and deeply distracting. For those used to analog dials, this isn't just a gadget. It's a fundamental shift in how a human interacts with a machine, turning a simple Sunday ride into a high-tech mission through a digital landscape. There is a visceral, unsettling quality to the sound, produced by the new exhaust architecture, which uses active acoustic valves to transition from a low, haunting hum to a metallic, high-frequency scream. It doesn't sound like a motorcycle in the traditional sense. It sounds like a pressurized turbine or localized weather event, a noise that commands immediate, fearful respect from everyone within a 3-block radius. It's the kind of auditory signature that marks the end of the Potato era and ushers in a new, cold and incredibly efficient sound of pure, unadulterated velocity. The safety suite on the 2026 Stratoliner is so advanced, it feels like an invasion of privacy, featuring an AI-driven stability brain that can literally override rider input to prevent a low side slide or a high side launch while this tech exists in racing. Seeing it implemented on a 700-pound luxury cruiser is a culture shock that has sparked fierce debates in garages, from California to the Carolinas. Some call it a guardian angel, while others see it as the death of true riding skill. But regardless of the opinion, the fact that the bike can save you from yourself is a staggering leap forward. Consumer hysteria is already reaching a boiling point, because Yamaha has priced this technological marvel in a way that feels like a direct declaration of war against the established luxury touring giants. They aren't just trying to sell a bike. They are trying to bankrupt the competition by offering a level of standard equipment that usually requires a custom build and an extra $20,000. The realization that this level of futuristic performance is actually attainable for the average American professional is perhaps the biggest shock of all. causing a massive influx of pre-orders that has dealerships scrambling. The luggage and storage systems are a masterclass in over-engineering, featuring pressurized vacuum-sealed panniers that open with a silent, motorized glide at the touch of a haptic sensor. Even the seat is a technological marvel, using adaptive gel and climate-controlled airflow that can sense the rider's body temperature and adjust in seconds to prevent fatigue. Every touchpoint on the 2026 Stratoliner feels like it was designed for an astronaut, making every other bike on the road look like an unfinished prototype. By comparison, which is a bitter pill for the rest of the industry to swallow, there's an eerie sense of perfection in the way the self-healing paint catches the light, a nanotech coating that supposedly flows to fill in micro scratches and swirl marks. Automatically, it means the bike looks showroom new every single morning, regardless of how many miles of desert sand or mountain salt it has endured. Which adds to its unreal aura. This level of attention to detail is usually reserved for one-off concept cars. Yet here it is, sitting in a crate, ready for delivery to a suburban driveway in Middle America, defying all logic efficiency figures for the 2026 model, are being treated with massive skepticism, because they seem to break the fundamental rules of internal combustion when paired with such a large displacement. If Yamaha's claims about the hybrid assist recovery system are even 50% accurate, this Stratoliner will be able to cross 3 state lines on a single tank, while outrunning most muscle cars. It's an efficiency to weight to power ratio that sounds like propaganda until you see the dyno charts, which has the entire engineering community staring at their calculators in total stunned silence. The braking system introduces a world-first kinetic energy recovery matrix that makes standard ABS look like a bicycle handbrake, providing a stopping force that feels like hitting a wall of invisible water for a bike this large. To shed speed this quickly without diving or losing composure is a feat of engineering that feels almost illegal, giving the rider a sense of invincibility that is as dangerous as it is thrilling. It changes the psychology of riding on the freeway. You no longer worry about the traffic ahead, because you know you have the mechanical capability to stop in half the distance of anything else on the road. Furthermore, the 2026 Stratoliner features a haptic feedback system in the handlebars and seat that communicates with the rider, vibrating suddenly to warn of blind spot intrusions or upcoming sharp curves. The sensory link between man and machine creates an intimacy that is both deeply comforting and slightly disturbing, as the bike feels more like an extension of your own nervous system than a piece of metal and rubber. It's an immersive experience that traditionalists might find overwhelming, but for the new generation of American riders, it represents the ultimate fusion of technology and freedom. Ultimately, the 2026 Yamaha Stratoliner isn't just a new motorcycle, it is a monumental cultural shift that marks the exact moment the cruiser evolved to something far more complex and intimidating. It is a machine that demands you forget everything you knew about the road and embrace a future where the bike is smarter, faster, and more capable than the human sitting on it. We are witnessing the birth of a new legend that is as beautiful as it is terrifying. A mechanical titan that has effectively reset the clock for the entire global motorcycle industry.